ahead. Turn it up. It's The Record Machine with your host, Jimmy Howell.
Ladies and gentlemen, guitarist Brady Novotny is on the program. How you doing, Brady?
I'm well.
It's
just a lovely day here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, what's the temp?
Oh, it's cold. It's probably about 30 degrees out here.
Oh, I got 40 on you. It's 70 here in.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, 70 in Myrtle Beach.
Oh, nice.
So,
I wish I was there rather than here.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure you do. That's the one thing I don't miss is the East Coast winters. I grew up in Jersey my whole life. I just moved to Myrtle Beach in November.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Have you been in Pittsburgh your whole life?
Yeah, I have.
Why you
but
say
travel a lot, so.
I was going to say, why you say it like that? You're like, yeah.
Yeah. It's it's kind of you grow up here, you know it, but the weather is something to be desired. So we always have pretty gray days from like November all the way through April. So, but it's home.
How's the music scene there in Pittsburgh?
It's starting to pick up. It has its ups and downs, but I think now it's starting to get a little bit better, and more venues are opening up, and old theaters are being redone and bringing more acts in. So it's pretty cool to watch.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you were growing up, you said you started in your bio. You say that you started playing guitar around 10 years old. So that's pretty young. And who inspired you to play guitar?
Well, that goes back to when I started. I heard the Crazy Train for the first time, and that was a big influence from Randy Rhoads, and actually Rick Emmett from Triumph was a pretty big influence for me as far as music, mainly because of the classical guitar connection, and I studied classical guitar at a young age, so Randy Rhoads and Rick Emmett were two of my favorites because I could look up to them as they were playing rock and also had that classical guitar influence. So they were kind of my two bigger influences when I started. But of course there was, Randy Rhoads or Eddie Van Halen, and later on, Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, all the 80s shredders, and Yngwie Malmsteen, and all those guys. And then I got into a little bit more diversity and went into some flamenco players and some jazz fusion, and just love to study what other people are doing. So,
are you a Carlos Santana fan?
Yeah. I listen to his stuff, of course. How could you not? So, but yeah, of course, yeah. He has some great stuff out there, of course, yeah.
The reason why I ask you is because he's instrumentalist too, and he plays all different styles, and he has different vocalists, now and again. So I was just curious if he was, someone that you listen to,
Oh yeah. I obviously, he reemerged and did a lot of newer stuff, and I think that was great. He really reinvented himself and doing, bringing in the vocalists and all kinds of stuff. So I mean, he's a wonderful guitar player and a great businessman as well. So
of course,
he has all kinds of stuff going on. He's got a shoe company and everything, So
So growing up,
my wife comes home.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, when my wife comes home with a pair of Carlos Santana shoes, it's like, okay, well, that's interesting.
No, I didn't even know he had shoes out. Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Are they sneakers or they're real like regular shoes?
They're a whole women's shoe line. I mean, it's pretty crazy, So
I actually
so he's
had
got it going on.
Yeah, I actually had a pair of those Frankenstein sneakers. The Eddie Van Halen sneakers.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
My wife had bought me a pair of those for Christmas, and I wore them when we came down to visit Myrtle Beach to look around for property, and I wore them down here, and I stepped in dog shit while I was walking around one of the houses that I was looking at, and we tried to clean them and we couldn't, so I had to throw them out. I was pissed off, but
oh man,
yeah, the smell was so bad that we wound up throwing them out, and I only had a pair of flip-flops and those sneakers with me because we were only traveling light. It was for like 3 days. So I wound up having to go to Walmart and buying another pair of sneakers, but I missed those sneakers. I got to get another pair.
Yes, sir. Yeah, sure. Absolutely, yeah.
I know they say when you step in dog shit, it's good luck, but I don't think I had it. We didn't get the house that we wanted, and I lost a pair of sneakers.
For shoes, yeah. So
I don't think
I guess it's all on how you look at it.
Yeah, I wasn't really lucky that day. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But you're out of the cold, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So you got any shows coming up that you're playing in Pittsburgh at all, or no?
Yeah, we're going to be doing at the Hard Rock Cafe, what they call an album release party. So here in May 10th, I believe. And then this summer we're going to be doing, Pittsburgh has a lot of music festivals going on, so we're going to be playing at a lot of those music festivals around the area, around the city, and so we're getting started that way. Because, it's not as easy to get into venues that play, instrumental music. I mean, you have to kind of search for them. I'm not going to go down to the local bar and play that, because we're not doing any covers or anything like that. So, it's you got to find the places that kind of sort of celebrate that type of thing. So the music festivals are looking like they're a good place to start getting the show ready and everything like that, and then we'll go from there, see what happens.
And you're saying release party, that's Passions Collide that just came out. Can you talk about that album and the title track, how that came about?
Sure. I started out, I always wanted to do an instrumental project, and my whole life, and I just got to a point where I needed to do it, and so I started writing some songs, and I knew I needed to find some guys to play on it, and asked a lot of people around the area, and finally found the right combination of people, and went in the studio and started recording it. It took about a little over a year and a half to do. It's a combination of rock melodic guitar and with a fusion of flamenco guitar, so it has sort of a Spanish flavor to it. There's a couple vocal tracks on it. My wife sings. So it was recorded at a guy's studio here named David Granati, and he was from the Granati Brothers, which they actually toured with Van Halen on the Fair Warning and Women and Children First tour back in the day. So he recorded it, and then John Cunaberti, who does all Joe Satriani records, he actually mastered the album as well. So I'm kind of honored to have those people, help me with this.
That's good company there. A really good company.
Yeah.
Redemption Song. I love that song, and your wife sings on that. Can you talk about that song a little bit? Sure.
That song, like I said, that's one of the few vocal tracks on the album. When I went down to my studio, my little studio in my house, and just wanted to practice one day and just kind of blow off some steam. And I started playing, and this melody kind of popped out, and it really kind of just wrote itself. And that's really the first time that's really happened to me. I heard a lot of people that's happened to, and it was just a nice experience to actually try to catch up with what was being played in my head. So, I got my iPhone out and started just playing this melody line, and pretty much it was written that night. I went back and put all the chords down, and I just knew it wasn't type of song to be an instrumental. I just knew I needed to have words and have a vocalist on it. And since my wife sings, and I knew she could hit the range I was looking for and the dynamics. And because, of course, she's my wife, so that doesn't hurt either.
Right.
So she sang on it, and it was, it was just at a time, because the song has a very spiritual component to it, and with all the stuff happening in the world today, it kind of was at the appropriate time, and so it was really neat to see happen. It was actually, it's almost like I can't really take credit for it. It's kind of like it just happened. Mm-hmm. So it was, as they say, my sort of stairway to heaven type feeling, where it just kind of wrote itself.
Yeah, I think it's a great song. One of my favorites, though, on the entire album is track 5, Heart's Fire. To me, that has more of a rock feel to that song. Can you talk about that song a little bit?
Yeah, that one, let's see what happened with that one. That one, when I wrote that was a pretty quick one, too. There was a snow day up here in Pittsburgh, shocking, mm-hmm. And I was supposed to go into the studio, and we just couldn't get there. And so I was like, instead of getting all bummed out, I decided to write and, took out my Strat, because I usually don't play the Fender Strat that much. So I just wanted to do something different, and, drop tuned it and was like, I got a Strat, so it's got to be bluesy or a little bit like twangy, and this whole thing kind of wrote itself in like a weekend. So it was kind of a neat experience to have that, and but it definitely has, for me. A lot of people have said it has like a country feel. I kind of heard it more as a, I don't know how to explain it, but more of a frontier feel. It had more of like a cowboys and Indians type of vibe for me. And so it starts out with congas and bongos, and then it goes to this drop D, which people aren't really used to hearing that mixture of stuff. So, but it was fun. It's fun to play. I'll tell you that.
Out of all the songs that are on this album, what is your favorite one and why?
I guess there's probably 3 that I really, really have close to my heart. One being The Journey Home, which is a song that actually I wrote for my mom who passed away. So that has obviously, more of an emotional connection. And it was my cathartic way of getting my emotions out on the instrument and dealing with the grief of the loss of my mom. So that one is, for me, is very special. And Ancient Romance is when I took a trip to Italy and I was going through all the old cities and the old towns and through Rome and through Venice and stuff. And it was just so inspiring that, and all the Renaissance, with all the artists and the big churches and everything like that. It was just so cool to see. So that song could have birthed out of that. And, I don't know, it was just such an awesome experience to visit that country. And, so it has more of a sentimental type feel for me. And then the third one, I guess, it's a toss up. Probably the title track, Passions Collide, because it was the first one I wrote. So it's kind of like my first child for the CD project. So.
What is the most fun song to play live when you're doing a show?
Yeah, that's what goes to that Heart's Fire, because it's such a a driving backbeat, and that one has a lot of energy to it, and it's just fun to play because it's kind of gets your blood flowing a little bit. So yeah, that's the one that's really, when I see that on the set list, I'm like, yeah, this is going to be, this is going to get everybody moving, and so it gets me moving. I know that. So yeah.
And the other one I kind of enjoy too. I'm not a real religious person, but I really dig this one, track 10, Midnight Prayer. I thought that was pretty cool too.
Oh, that was my prog side. Me stepping into my prog type Pink Floyd and with spoken words and everything. Yeah, that was. I did a lot of research on the thing of midnight, and a lot of times that we don't really. When we wake up, we feel that that's the start of our day, but really at midnight it's the start of the day. And when you dive into some of the religious and even occult type messages about midnight, I mean, that's why scary movies are, midnight hits. It's something's going to go wrong or all this stuff. So I wanted to take a positive approach to it. Mm-hmm. And, they say that, if you're religious or spiritual, whatever, most spiritual activity occurs at that midnight hour to 3 a.m. And it's just, if you do your own research on it, you can find some pretty interesting stuff. So it was just my bent and my take on what I had done and researched, and just really just a crying out for protection over your family and for protection over yourself and your life and everything. So it was just more of a cathartic way of praying to God and stuff like that. So
you also teach guitar as well, right?
I did for a while. I haven't for probably about 5 or 6 years. I haven't done that. Mm-hmm. But that was primarily in my 20s, and so that I was really I had a lot of students that I was teaching at university, and so I mean it was a great thing. I just I got a little burned out on that because you can do that for a long time, and that gets to be a little much, you know.
Exactly. Now, the reason why I asked you that is because I was on your website earlier, BradyNovotny.com, and I saw that you had a virtual guitar lesson on there. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm going to start doing that. I figured I'd give back, you know, some of my favorite, you know, when I can. We had a sort of a blackout over the weekend here. We had that high windstorm up here, and it just knocked everything out for a weekend. And so I was going to post some more videos, some more licks, and some more free lessons, but unfortunately I had no electricity. But this weekend I'm going to be back at it. So I'm going to be doing that more and more, so I can, you know, give back and you know, I it's a nice way to show some of my favorite licks that I was teaching back in the day, and you know, hopefully somebody can take it and make their own.
Yeah, I think that's really cool that you did that you put that up there. Plus, you know, they can check out your bio and your videos and your CD that's out, Passions Collide. It's on the website BradyNovotny.com. For those who are listening who haven't heard it yet, definitely give it a listen, check it out, and buy one.
Thank you so much.
Brady, I really appreciate you calling in today. I had a great time chatting with you. And folks, if you want to pick up a copy of his brand new CD, Passions Collide, go to BradyNovotny.com. That's BradyNovotny.com, right?
That's right, man. Thanks a lot.
All right, we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right, take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
You're back on that road again. Seems like the only way. Sending flares from this broken hell you're in. Reaching, can't see the thing you need. Seems like you're